What's up? We on live? Let me get this right. That's better. All right. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back to Slow Mode. If you're new to the channel, make sure you stop and hit that like and subscribe button. Even our subscribers, hit that like, share, invite your associates to tune in. We got some exciting news today. We're going to be live streaming for about possibly an hour 30 or 2 hours today. Got a few things to go over. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hope y'all week is going fantastic. Hope y'all week is going fantastic. We're in the mix of creating some slow-moed Moorish portals for you guys. It's been pretty busy. Pretty busy so far. Yeah, we putting in that work for you guys. We creating those Moorish portals using our Moorish science or African science. Yeah, we just put in that work. If you check me out, I'm wearing my slow-moed Astro Cowboy merch. The link is in the description. Make sure you give that a view. It's available in different colors, so check that out. It's a reasonable price for you guys. And yeah, shop with us. Check out our blogs. And yeah, we got some exciting things coming in the future for you guys. Like always, we're constantly using African Moorish knowledge. Let me lower this down so you guys can see me. I was in the rush. In the rush. Always busy. Thank y'all for tuning in. Like always, we got some special things coming up to you guys in the future. Yeah, like I said, we're using African knowledge to create our slow-mo Moorish portals for you guys. If you haven't done so already, check out our slow-mo portal. That's on my shirt. It's Freddie Gibbs machine drum featured, Cane Train, Cowboy Bebop Universe. Make sure you check that out. Oh, and shout out to Sabir Bey. I've been watching a couple of his lives. Shout out to Sabir Bey. He's been dropping a lot of knowledge on his YouTube channel. Make sure you check that out. I like watching Sabir Bey and his live streams because he offers references in his videos. And as y'all probably know, or maybe y'all are familiar with StreamYard or Clubhouse. I'm currently not doing that, but we plan to actually do that in the future so we can stream across multiple platforms. But we need to get the funds up. So I will be offering donation links in the near future on these live streams. So you guys can further support our YouTube channel and our business. I'll make that link available on our official website. We actually have a donation on our website. It's for scleroderma research on the home page. At the bottom of the page, it's for my mother who had passed away from scleroderma. We currently have donated $100. Make sure you show some love for scleroderma research on our homepage. I'll pull that up for you guys. But yeah, we have some exciting things coming for you in the near future. We're watching anime. We're reading manga. We're working hard every day, exercising, etc. So on our homepage, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, oh, I locked my screen. So if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a donation for scleroderma research at the very bottom. Give it a minute to load. Donation at the very bottom. So make sure you donate for scleroderma research. We're doing our research on our Moorish knowledge and our Moorish wisdom that we're espousing to you guys through our live streams, our blogs, our slow-mo, our art, or slow-mo Moorish portals, which I'm in the midst of creating. As you see my lab coat on, you know, when you're using mystical knowledge and African science and Moorish science, you know, you have to use your Moorish tools and equipment to get it done, because that's what it is. It's African science, and as you know, it's a conglomeration of all the necessary tools. So yeah, we get down to the nitty gritty. Yeah. So we got a lot to share with you guys, and hope y'all tune in, interact. Also, drop in the comment section. Well, let me repeat that. Drop in the comment section future slow-mo Moorish portals you guys would want to see in the future. You can also drop a comment on if you enjoy these live streams, if you would like them to be longer or on different days. Also drop a comment. I don't know if I said this already. Where you're viewing from? No, I didn't say already. Okay, but yeah, you can pretty much comment anything. But those are the top things, I suppose. But yeah. Oh yeah, I also want to mention we accept criticism. So, you know, critique our slow-mo Moorish portals. We're basically using Moorish time travel. I'm getting tongue-tied. This is new information, but basically using Moorish time travel. So we're using African science, and we're able to reach back in the past through. We're able to reach back in the past using African Moorish science. Yeah. You know, there's multiple book references on to get you to that point, but you also have to have knowledge of self, which goes deep into the ancient mystical philosophies of ancient Africa or ancient Kemet, which science comes from the interior of Africa. But yeah, you know, the concept of science, you know, observation, which originated in Africa. Yeah, this is what we do. So we need y'all to like, subscribe, interact, buy our merchandise. Just let's get active. Because time is running out. Uh, it's just taking a little bit longer to get to our goal, which is to be expected. But as you know, time is running out for the judges in the future that are watching. We're just powering up our spirit bomb. So lend me your energy. Lend us your energy. We're a community. Yeah, we're using the power of the spirit, which spirit simply means breath. But yeah, help us out by liking, subscribing, and engagement. Yeah, I've been having a awesome time getting to create these Moorish portals for you guys, and it's been an exciting experience. Even though the daunting task that I've came up with throughout my life, what I've been able to accomplish. In the year 2025. So hopefully you guys in the future can build on top of this idea using African Moorish science, because these celebrities and big names and whatever, the people with all these followings, they ain't gonna say nothing because I don't know. They just want to just eat everything off the menu and go to all these different places and buy stuff that doesn't matter. But we're actually contributing to uh, human progress. We're not doing this at a snail's pace, but we're taking our time, being consistent. We're not focused on the next man. We're not hating. We don't hate. It's nothing but love. Even though we're faced with the challenges we have been faced with, even though we will continue to be faced with challenges. But yeah, we here, and we're creating more Moorish portals for you guys. They're gonna be even more exciting. We're trying to put them out at a faster rate. We can do that with you guys engaging with our content, subscribing, commenting, liking, and buying our merchandise, reading our blog on our official website, following our social media pages, etc. We're doing a lot. So we need more engagement. Get your family members. We just updated our slow mode playlist. So basically, we have all our slow mode portals on our playlist on our YouTube channel, and we also have all of our slow mode portals on our official website, and we have them all available on our Instagram. All of those links are available in the description. So if YouTube supposedly gets taken down, it's available on our official website. If that gets taken down, it's available on Instagram. If that gets taken down, it's available on TikTok. Maybe just the snippets, but it's available there. And who knows the people that on the internet possibly download the video. So yeah. Uh, just to address some things that I seen on Sabir Bey's live, his live on this YouTube channel. Well, one thing that stood out that he said that I didn't agree with on his LA conversations was that uh, he told people to travel, and people, I guess his well, there's a couple things I didn't agree with that I'm going to address here. But basically, he told people to travel, which I agree with. But he said people were saying that, I guess to him, that they're going to go to Egypt and Egypt this and Egypt that, right? I don't know which video he said it on, but what I don't agree with that is when he says the first universities was available and was established in Morocco. Well, it's like, okay, the mystery system started in probably the interior Africa, but as far as written records go, we're going to say Kemet or Egypt. And he also said that Kemet was a Greek term, but it's like the hieroglyphs or Medu Neter, that's the name of it. And it's like, okay, we already established that the alphabet comes from Phoenician, which is where Greek come from, Phoenician. And the Phoenician script comes from the hieroglyphic script, or the proper name, Medu Neter. So it's like, Kemet means burnt land or black land. Well, I don't want to say black land because that's a Germanic term, but Kemet means dark like charred wood, or also that's according to Dr. Muata Ashby. I can actually pull it up. Kemet means burnt like charred wood by Dr. Muata Ashby. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick for you guys. But I didn't agree with what he said, it being a Greek term, because we know the alphabet started with Medu Neter. Okay, here we go. So this is page 67. I'm currently reading Egyptian Yoga, The Philosophy of Enlightenment by Dr. Muata Ashby. So on page 69, he says Kemet, if you see there, this isn't page 69. Kemet means Egypt, which means burnt, or land of blackness, or land of burnt people. You can also get this reference from Dr. Mfudishi Jehutimus. Both of these men are Kemetic priests. So what I'm saying is, basically, Sabir Bey has included Mfudishi Jehutimus on his Out of the Darkness series. I think he's creating Heavy is the Crown. Even probably both. But he included Mfudishi Jehutimus on both of those production movies. I've read all three of Mfudishi Jehutimus books. And basically, he says that Kemet means land of the black people. However, I believe there's some conflict between Mfudishi and the Moorish movement. His understanding with Moor seems to have been a bit muddy over the decades or years, because in his earlier videos, he would say like Moor is only associated with Islam. But if we look at human history and go back to the Greek and Roman languages, which is where the predecessor of Moor, the word Moor comes from, which is the Greek mauros or Roman mauri or mauri. you'll see that it meant dark, according to etymological dictionaries in the English language. So it's like that's still where the origin of dark came from. So it literally means dark, dark skin, dark people, dark land, etc. So what I'm saying is I disagreed with him telling people to visit Morocco instead of Kemet. Though I believe the dark-skinned people call themselves black, or dark-skinned people in general should visit both places in general. But that's just one thing that I disagreed with. The other thing I disagreed with was his reference, Sabir Bey's, um, his some of the things he said about Dr. Kaba Hiawatha Kamene or Booker T. Coleman. Now, I don't know the history of these men. I don't know these two men. However, I can say that I have learned some things from Dr. Kaba Hiawatha Kamene. For example, if you look at our video, Poverty Point, Moorish Science of the Native Americans, I wouldn't have been led to the book Ramses III, the father of ancient America, if it wasn't for Dr. Kaba Hiawatha Kamene. So now I did my research and traveled to Louisiana and basically did a documentary to connect the ancient Kemetic or Moorish North African dark-skinned African people connection to the Native Americans and their sciences and their mound building techniques and the instruments, the astrological instruments that they use at that site and their tools. So I made that connection with their philosophy, their tools, well, that and the Olmecs. So if it, I understand how, now I do understand how Sabir Bey did say that Kaba Kamene riding the trend of FBAs, Foundational Black Americans. I did agree with Sabir Bey saying that Kaba Hiawatha Kamene was riding that trend of Foundational Black Americans. However, I do agree with the philosophy that Dr. Mfudishi says when he says operational unity. So we understand that there are different groups of dark-skinned people in America that are saying that are flocking to different groups, for example, because we're confused. We don't know the dark-skinned people in America in the year 2025 are in different groups because they don't understand human history and they don't understand that they've been under attack for centuries by their oppressors or basically these religious organizations and secret societies. They don't understand that they've been attacked by these different orders set up against them. These night orders, Freemasonic orders, etc. So they don't understand that they're infiltrated in these religious organizations, in the school system, in their everyday work life, etc. They're all over the society in different shades of skin color. So they have to go to these different groups and call themselves these different things. For example, Black, African American, Afro American, Hebrew Israelite, Nation of Islam, Fruits of Islam, Five Percenters, etc. So They don't understand that they don't. The black people in America in 2025, they're calling themselves black, etc. All these labels that don't have a nationality and don't understand Moorish African history and how that connects to their consanguinity. If you research check out our article on our official website called Consanguinity, um, Moorish facts not known to the blacks on our official website. I'll put the link in the description so you guys can see that. But basically, that article sheds some light and gives some information, some breadcrumbs to those that may not be understanding. I provide irrefutable evidence that can be backed up by scholarly references. Now, so I agree with operational unity. Now the FBA movement, I don't agree with it because it can cause further division and schism. Because just like Black Lives Matter, when Black Lives Matter started, every other people started to want to be included. Except, so for example, you get Blue Lives Matter, you get White Lives Matter, you get Yellow Lives Matter, and all this other stuff. So it's like a competition, and it causes schism, and it's not a nationality. We already know all lives matter, but for some reason, the black people have been punished the most because they fell from the Moors when they were ruling Spain and started the Renaissance in Europe. So now that history is hidden, and black people are searching for an identity, but they don't know that their ancestors were calling themselves Moors, and the term still applies today, according to English etymology, because that's what it means, according to English language. So, so Kaba Kamene even said in various videos in the past, and he and Sabir Bey have associated, according to my knowledge and according to Sabir Bey's words. So, what I'm saying is, Kaba Kamene understands Moorish history. Now, there shouldn't be a debate between those two gentlemen. There should be a common understanding to get to the absolute truth. So, I don't know their backgrounds, but that's just something I didn't agree with. I don't agree with FBAs because it's more, in my personal opinion, I see it as a schism group, because the next thing you know, there's going to be foundational white Americans, foundational blue Americans, etc. And, the cycle will continue because whoever is creating these things are trying to cause schism and division, when what they do need is understanding of human history, in my opinion. So, that's something I didn't agree with. Yes. Another thing I didn't agree with was Sabir Bey mentioning Sa Nether. If you guys are familiar with Sa Nether YouTube channel, he puts out information. He shares information of different scholars, and he basically interviews these people. And he has a big platform. So what Sabir Bey didn't agree with Sa Nether is that Sa Nether put up a video, a snippet of Taj Tariq Bey, that's available on YouTube, talking about the Moors and basically dropping keys for the ignorant or people that are lacking knowledge in Moorish science and Moorish history. So basically, It's so funny. It's ridiculous. Not the Sabir Bay and Sinetta situation. It's just like the whole situation that the blacks have to go through. You know, it's kind of ridiculous in my opinion. But to continue on with this, but so Sinetta, he put his watermark on the video, and Sabir Bay didn't agree with that. And it's like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, if Sinetta didn't put this video out, I wouldn't have even known about this documentary with Taj Tariq Bey going over Moorish science and Moorish history. I don't know. Now, I do understand that funding is lacking in the conscious or the Moorish movement. So the people that are trying to address Moorish history, we require funds, correct? But it's also we don't need to hoard knowledge like it's a secret society. We don't need to hold on to knowledge when there's people searching for knowledge and they can't get it because they're poor or they're broke, so they can't afford to buy it through your paywall. So it's like, I do understand, Sabir Bey, you want to get paid, yes, but it's also like people need the knowledge, like, because if we don't get the knowledge, we can't experiment, we can't get to the facts, we can't get to the evidence, we can't provide that evidence, you know. So it's like I wouldn't know me personally to go on Sabir's Bey channel and look up a documentary that Taj Tariq Bey did 10 years ago, because he doesn't have a large platform like Sinetta. And it's like, I do understand you Sabir Bey did record and produce the video. He did create and produce the movies. I get that. But it's like, the ignorant need the information now. Like, it's like, I understand you gotta get paid, but we need the information now. We don't have all the time in the world to go through paywalls, because the very people that you're trying to educate, majority of them are poor. Majority of them have a poor intellect. So it's also like, we have social media. So it's like TikTok, you got people going over Moorish science and Moorish history on TikTok. You know, you can make these very short snippets of videos and you can upload it to TikTok and get hundreds of thousands of views. So it's like, if you can get the algorithm and the SEO going, you know, by putting this information out, maybe some technical genius can get a hold of this and do their own experiment and share it to the rest of the world without it having to be a paywall. Because the paywalls are like, you know, they're kind of like slowing down the process. Now, I do understand people have to get paid, right? You know, you have to make a living, which is why you know, we're doing our business, but we're also espousing our knowledge through our clothing, through our official website, through our videos, through our documentaries, through our interactions, through our live streams. We're giving the knowledge, which is what I agree Sabir Bey is doing. But we also can't hoard knowledge. I understand that there's COINTELPRO. I understand that there's these guys trying to discredit and counterintelligence and all this stuff. I understand that. But it's also like, we need this knowledge and we need operational unity. So I do understand. Possibly, I'm just throwing some suggestions. I don't have all the answers. I'm not a software genius. I'm not a technical genius. I'm not a search engine optimization genius. I probably pronounced that wrong or something. I'll say that again. I'm not a search engine optimization genius, etc. But you know, we can find some type of way to get the message out faster. So yeah, that's just my take on the matter. I would love to have a conversation with these gentlemen because me, I have invested in the African mystical philosophies. There are other scholars that have invested in different areas of expertise like civics and Moorish history, etc., which is still simply African history. So we need to come together and and like buckle down, regardless of the finance, because for one thing, um, this may raise you guys' eyebrows just a little bit, but just simply having the dark-skinned people in the Western Hemisphere or the diaspora, but specifically the black people that don't have nationality. For those people, having this knowledge is all of the money that you need, because the richest man in history was Mansa Musa. I don't know how many of you people know that, but that's the richest man in human history. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, because the very people that the blacks want to disassociate from, which is the Africans or the Moors, both of them are the same thing, according to English and human history and anthropology and biology. But just because they don't want to associate with the Africans or Moors, you're disassociating from all of the sciences. You're disassociating from mathematics, astronomy, astrology, timekeeping, navigation, uh, language, etc. All this has origins in the continent of Africa, which is where the origins of human history goes. So, yeah, I'll be back. Get some water. Now, you all may say, okay, so how did you get to all this knowledge? Well, first and foremost, I had to get knowledge of self. Self-knowledge is the basis of knowledge. These are teachings I learned from studying ancient Kemet or ancient Africa, and also by the teachings of Noble Drew Ali. He also expounds on this information through his Holy Quran, Circle 7 book. Now, I would not have gotten to the Moorish information through various reasons. And it's not because of my name. There have been people on YouTube who have taken their time and didn't set up paywalls in order to espouse their information. So I thank those people, and some of them being Dr. Kaba Hiawatha Kamene, Now, I don't agree with the FBA movement, but I do appreciate the knowledge that Kappa Hiawatha Kamene shared. So, yeah, those are just some things I didn't agree with Sabir Bey and his live. Now, I already know, Sabir Bey knows where the origin of humanity comes from. And I get Morocco, yes, we understand this. However, the wisdom teachings came from ancient Kemet, and that has the oldest records in stone. This is old. These are the older. I see these as universities as well, which are thousands of years older um, than the oldest university in Morocco, and older than Timbuktu. So, but you have to understand, all humanity came from Africa, the interior Africa. The first Egyptians or Kemites came from the interior of Africa, came from Ethiopia, according to Dr. Muada Asmus. Here we go, right here. I'm not even looking at the page. So this is on the same page, page 69. Kemet is situated close to Lake Victoria in the present-day Africa. This is the same location where the earliest human remains have been found in the land recently, known as Egypt, Ethiopia, Tanzania. Recent genetic technology, as reported in the new encyclopedias and leading news publications, has revealed that all peoples of the world originated in Africa and migrated to other parts of the world prior to the last ice age 40,000 years ago. Now, I haven't been looking at this book in like back and forth. Maybe it's been in my hand, I don't know. But basically, I'm espousing the same information off the top of my head, and I'm not even a doctor. So this knowledge is possible for you all to learn through self-knowledge, studying the self, like the teachings of Noble Drew Ali has said. When you're finished, when you studied yourself and you finish and you ask what to study next, study yourself. The same teachings. It's still the teachings of Noble Drew Ali can be traced back to ancient Kemet, to ancient Africa. It's the same philosophies. We do understand that Moors are Africans. They're interchangeable. According to English etymology, the word mauros means dark-skinned, swarthy. Swarthy is becoming an obsolete word, supposedly, but it's still, no words can become obsolete. They still exist. Just because a connotative meaning has been applied to a word doesn't make the older meaning of the word not exist. That's what's confusing the blacks in the year 2025. That's why they don't understand who they are, where they came from. That's why they disassociate from the Africans, and they create these groups like FBA, Foundational Black Americans. Now, Dr. Kaba Hawatha Kamene, he already understands this. But it's like, okay, like KRS-One has said, you guys that are viewing this through the camera, You are the future. You're watching this in the future right now. So in the future, I'm already an old man, right? So what I don't think Kaba Hiawatha Kamene understands that while he's pushing the FBA movement. By him associating with that label and that association, it's basically muddying the waters of Moorish African consanguinity and that connection to the blacks, coloreds, African Americans, Afro Americans, etc., in the Western Hemisphere and the diaspora, those that don't have a nationality. So it muddies the waters and makes confusion. So that's what I agree with Sabir Bey on. But I don't agree with the paywalls. I understand we have to get paid, right? We're not making money. I'm not making, well, possibly I am making money with this recording because you guys are watching it in the future. You know, I haven't gotten to 1,000 subscribers yet. I haven't gotten to however many watch hours is required to get a paid programming. I mean, paid partners on YouTube, but it's still being watched and the knowledge is being espoused. So people are getting something from it, even though I may not be generating anything from it. People are still getting something from it. I'm not setting up a paywall in order to espouse the knowledge that I'm espousing. Saying that these people watching can get the information too by checking out our official website, reading our blogs, our blog, and our various articles, wearing our merchandise and sharing this merchandise with the world, and you guys getting fashion out of it and being able to bring in more viewers and transport their minds to different to different alternative reality portals using Moorish African science, because that's what we're doing. So, you know, we're just in the lab. We're doing all we can, creating these slow-mo Moorish portals for you guys. This isn't science fiction. This is this is non-fiction. We're actually doing this using Moorish African science. It's all thanks to the ancestors that we even got to this point, because there's been so much muddying of the waters throughout the centuries, so many destroying of so many burning books throughout the Library of Alexandria, the Crusades, the Spanish Inquisition, etc., to current day. So now they're doing it. They're trying to warp the videos. They're trying to distort the videos on social media and YouTube, Twitter, etc. They're trying to, the people that own these various platforms, they have people that will try and manipulate the videos to try and they probably have the technology to go in and mute certain points of the videos, but there's also content creators that are associated in secret societies and have an alternative agenda, which could possibly be Sa Nether, like Sabir Bey mentioned, trying to post his material without his consent, etc. So there's certain people that will try and manipulate the video while it's already uploaded. they probably distort the sound or cut out a part of the video, or put captions over like your captions that have been ingrained in the video. They'll do stuff like that. Besides, because they can't burn the books, they can't burn the books, so they gotta do this stuff. So it's like you have to have something tangible. Just like they can't destroy the pyramids and the statues and the various things that they're preserving in these museums, etc. Just like they can't annihilate that, they have to create these false narratives to jumble up history, and it's pretty ridiculous. And they have to keep doing this because they know that they've been living in Ishfet, or the lower desires of humanity. They know that they've been doing wrong. And when I say they, I'm talking about the powers that be. The they that I'm talking about is the same they that's been following. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Nature Jab, Julian, what's his name? You know Nature Jab, Plastic Diesel. If y'all are familiar with Julian, I don't know his damn name. Maybe y'all can search it up. I don't know his last name. Julian from Nature Jab, the creator of Plastic Diesel, and he went into hiding because he had hackers and stuff like that, and people flying helicopters around him and stuff. So basically, that's the powers that be. That's the people that was burning the books during the Spanish Inquisition to like take the land from the Jews and the Moors, because they saw them, they were persecuting them, which is the history of the blacks that the blacks are trying to get away from with this FBA movement. Which I agree with Sabir Bey saying that he doesn't agree with that, because I don't agree with it. Because it's neglecting African Moorish history. So it's quite ridiculous. And yeah, it's like we're just gonna keep playing this ridiculous game. You know, this is ridiculous. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. It's the greatest trick played on humanity. I have to give the credit where credit is due. It's the greatest trick played on humanity. What's up, Sambo? Thank you for tuning in. We dropping some wisdom in this live stream. We plan to do it for, let me see my battery life. Probably another 30 minutes to an hour. But yeah, we dropping some bombs. Not literally. Don't take that seriously. You know how scary y'all are. So but we're creating Moorish portals using African Moorish science. And basically going over the conflicts between Sabir Bey and these other scholars that aren't being as real as Sabir Bey. Sabir Bey real. I'm gonna keep it 100. Sabir Bey real, and he shares his references to his various books. I like that because a lot of people aren't doing that. A lot of people aren't showing their book titles, aren't showing their sources, aren't citing their sources. We need more of that. We need breadcrumbs. If somebody says something, they need to back it up. If I say something and y'all want the references, I'll get the references the best of my ability. If y'all come across something that's faulty, then I'm saying I'll I'll get the references. I'll leave the breadcrumbs so you guys can see it for yourselves. And yeah, that's where we're at. We need more people to drop breadcrumbs because we don't need paywalls to hoard knowledge. Now understand books. Okay, people have worked their whole lives to write these books, right? I understand they're trying to get paid. I understand. Um, but the ignorant or profane people, they need the knowledge. They're not in secret societies, so they need the knowledge. They need it accessible commercially. They need it spoon fed to them. They need to see it. Drop, what that mean? Drop another portal. We're in the works. But yeah, we thank y'all. I thank y'all for tuning in. We need this knowledge available to help bring up humanity because we're moving at a snail's pace. We're not moving fast enough. We need people espousing the truth to create their platforms. You know what I'm saying? I understand where everybody is in the rat race. Everybody preoccupied with family and all these problems that set up against us. But we need to find some type of time throughout the day to put out something. It doesn't even need to be an hour, 2 hours. It could be 15 seconds of some unknown facts that nobody knows, that a lot of people doesn't know. Drop Nation, dropping that knowledge, keep sharing the information with each other. Yes, we need to share it together. We need to build a strong community for the future generation because they're looking at us. They're looking at us and they're thankful of the knowledge we've been able to espouse, the arts that we were able to create for them. Them looking back into the past, looking at what we were able to contribute to them, so to give them a platform to do what they do, to move at a faster pace, to help humanity, you know? So we need more innovators, we need more creators. You know, we don't have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. But I can tell you one thing, I'm gonna fucking try. Excuse my language. I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna try, I'm gonna do it. And we've been doing it and we're gonna keep doing it. We're gonna keep doing it till we drop. Yeah. Hopefully, with you guys' support, we can eventually get the funding to do what we plan to do. We got some huge projects coming up. When I say huge, I'm talking about huge. I'm talking about things that haven't been done in human history up to this point. So yeah, I'm talking about huge. This isn't no science fiction. This isn't science fiction. We backing it up with irrefutable evidence that can't be challenged. We can back it up. African-moors science. Yeah. We're in our experimental phases of Moorish time travel, but we're doing it with what limited we have. Yeah. We're using the limited resources we have. We starting from the real bottom. We ain't Drake. We starting from the real bottom. We starting from the bottom and we building it up. We ain't part of no secret society. We ain't part of no congregation. We ain't part of no secret order. Yeah. But we part of human history. We understand the principles, the African principles. We understand science, observation, chemistry. Yeah. And this is we're not bragging. We're not talking mess. We're backing it up though. I mean, I'm just stating it how it is because what I'm saying has been challenged the whole time I've been acquiring spiritual aspiration, searching for knowledge of self, which is the constant goal, according to the ancient principles of African philosophies. So, this is what we're striving for, to bring humanity back to getting to knowledge that seems to be out of human reach, when it's actually within human reach. So, in the year 2025, we need more innovators. We need more creators. We need more individuals that's brave, that's relentless, that's provocative, and willing to get to those unattainable or seemingly unattainable things. Even though whatever challenges you may be faced with, even though it's daunting, it's a daunting task, it's really quite sad because we could get, I recently discovered from Sabir Bay, uh, the first the first man to fly was actually a Moor. And he had the reference from the Smithsonian Institute in his book that he had bought for $50. And it's ridiculous how the powers that be, the lengths that they go to cover up this history. It's quite sad. Why is he playing Happy Birthday Jazz? Happy Birthday Jazz. Yeah. I was in deep thought, and then that jazz song, it kind of threw me off. But basically, like I was saying, Sabir Bey introduced me to the first person to fly. It wasn't the Wright brothers. It was a Moor in Moorish Spain back in the 8th century, the 9th century AD. He even has a bridge named after him that he leapt off of. I think it's Ibn Kausi or something like that. I can't get his name accurately because I just learned this information. So yes, we're still learning, we're still experimenting with Moorish time travel, but we're starting it, or at least we're starting the idea. But as y'all see with our slow-mo portals that we're creating, using different animation, movie, music videos, animated music videos, um, game music videos, etc. We're creating Moorish portals using speculative masonry, both speculative and operational masonry, because it's both technical and speculative in the mind. So we're using this African knowledge, African Moorish knowledge, to create this, and it's exciting because the judges, as Plato would say in his Timaeus, you the judges are watching this. You are the judges that can benefit from this knowledge. It may sound like science fiction to some, but it's the facts nonetheless. And we are able to back it up with irrefutable evidence. Well, I've been talking for an hour, but I thank y'all for tuning in. I mean, thank y'all for joining. We plan to create our Moorish portals at a faster rate. We have a lot of things outside the scenes of the business going on. Um, we're working every day, every second. We're working every second. That's how critical this is to human history. We're not setting up paywalls, even though we need the finances, even though we need the donations, even though we need the funding. Um, People need the knowledge more, and that's more important in my opinion. I grew up poor, so I understand. I understand people that don't have all the necessary tools that they need to do, and don't have a pen to connect all the dots, basically. So when I'm saying starting from the bottom, I'm talking about actually starting from the mud, from the grind. That isn't a flex. Having to wear hand-me-downs isn't a flex. Having to shop at secondhand stores isn't a flex, or possibly it is. It's just in the mind of the beholder, also in the mind of the individual. How can you use? How can you find your philosopher's stone, using alchemy, spiritual alchemy? How can you use alchemy to get out of a lower situation, to transmute your mind using transmutation and alchemy, to rise up from a dark situation into light, to knowledge, rise up from ignorance to knowledge, and uplift those around you without having to include them in your club. These are the questions that some of you can ask yourselves. hope that's not copyright. But yeah, we're doing these lives. We're espousing a lot of information with these lives. And on our 30th live stream, I plan to change the title or add on to the title of the live stream. That way we can get a more narrowed down approach for the topic that's going to be described throughout the live stream. So on our 30th live stream, that's where we're going to switch the titles around. So it's going to be, it's possibly, I'm still in the process of working on it, but it's possibly going to be live on slow mode, our number and the topic, or the topic then the live on slow mode. I have to see it in the future, but we'll let you guys know, and that'll be available. So yeah, you know, the process of creating these slow-mo Moorish portals, it is not an easy task. So we are I'm basically asking our supporters, which is you guys, which I call our G's, calling for you guys to support us by buying our merchandise. Our merchandise, our fashion is available on our official website. It's also available on our Etsy page. We currently have reviews on our Etsy page. We don't have them in women's attire yet, but it's currently unisex. We have sizes from small to 3X available. Anything after large is $1 more, but that's available. We plan to incorporate women-only clothing as well. So look forward to that in the near future. Talking a lot. Working on my vocal cords. But yeah, look for that in the future. Support us by reading our blogs. Yeah, and we plan to incorporate donations on our live streams, and our plan to get the links up and running. There's just a lot going on outside of our business scene, so yeah. But like I said, we're working every second of the day. Every second is not taken for granted, and I would advise you all to do the same, but for the greater cause of good and not for evil. For the higher self, the higher desires of human nature, and not the lower desires. Work every second of the day while you still can. Yeah, and that's where we at, and we're creating these slow-mo Moorish portals for you guys. It's a very fun and exciting process. We're experimenting. We're doing some things that have never been done before in this human history, and this isn't science fiction. Yeah, basically, since the black people have been like persecuted, since they've been calling themselves Moors, and they had to endure slavery and the civil rights movement, basically, um, that's just been a hindrance on our progress. You know, from the burning of the Library of Alexandria, the burning of the books, and uh, the defacing of the monuments in Kemet, the pillaging of the or vandalism of the statues and figurines, various figurines and jewelry and etc. It's just it's a shit show. Yeah, I got on my lab coat because it's quite messy experience creating these slow-mo Moorish portals. It's quite messy experience. You know, you get pulled into these different dimensions. You never know where you're gonna end up at. Mystically, you never know where you're gonna end up at when you get pulled into our slow-mo Moorish portals. You know, you might end up in Dragon Ball Z universe. You might end up in Cowboy Bebop universe. You might end up in uh, you might end up in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure universe. Just Moorish science everywhere. You might end up in Teen Titans universe. You might end up in Dragon Ball universe. You might end up in uh, One Piece universe. It's like the Moorish science is everywhere. Uh, you know, it's in the lyrics of the various artists, the contribution. Everybody is everybody is indirectly and directly contributing to Moorish African science, whether they know it or not. And it's and when you have like these movements like the FBA, Foundational Black American movements going on, and it's like it's basically causing schism. And then you got like these platforms like Jesse Lee Peterson, Tariq Nasheed, the Hodge twins, etc. You got all these different platforms, and they got all these people. They got all these hundreds of thousands of subscribers and supporters just throwing money at them, right? And it's like, these are the people that are like living off the expense and the suffering of the dark-skinned black people. And it's ridiculous. And it's like, okay, you know, here I am, just creating portals using Moorish African science in the year 2025. Um, it's kind of like, I don't know. We're basically venturing outside of the norm because I don't know, because it's the truth. We're bringing irrefutable evidence because these people keep defacing these monuments in the span of time or the realm of time and space. The people in their lower desires keep defacing these monuments and stealing African history and science and knowledge and using it for themselves and not wanting to be associated with Africa, but DNA traces back to Africa and human history traces back to Africa. You know, it's ridiculous. And it's like, now we got all these groups want to be created. And, you know, it's ridiculous. And like the people around you, the very people around you, your friends, your family, your partners, etc., they're trying to discredit you. They're trying to mess behind your back. They're trying to ostracize you. They're trying to talk shit behind your back. And it's like, I mean, you're part of the problem if you don't. If you don't. It's ridiculous. It's like, I don't know. Like there are no answers to this. I mean, the only answer is knowledge. But people want to stray away from knowledge because they like to cling to the BS because they don't want to think hard. I will be back. Now, excuse me for that. Now, this is not to insult anybody, but to just basically, in my mind, in my humble opinion, the things that the blacks are going through is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The history that the blacks have been going through is ridiculous. In my opinion, the past 400 years, and even before that, during the Spanish Inquisition, during the Crusades, during the Punic Wars, it's ridiculous. During the Hittites invading ancient Kemet, it is ridiculous that the blacks have even gotten to this point in 2025. And it's funny because it's like people like Sabir Bey, Taj Tariq Bey, Kaba Hiawatha Kamene, Infludeshi Jehutimus, etc. They've been saying this stuff for decades. And it's like, they're doing an awesome job. We need more operational unity, but we need to understand human history. We need to understand, and this is just on the whole, we need to understand this. So basically, everything that I'm saying can be backed up or irrefutable evidence from scholars that have higher titles than I have. So, in your quest for self-knowledge and to get into the truth, you're going to be challenged by the ignorant and profane, the vulgar, as what will be called by the secret societies. And these people, some of them do mean harm and some of them don't mean harm. But their ignorance is stopping them. Their vulgarness is stopping them. Their profaneness is stopping them. Now, these various people are associated around you. You may see them as allies, you may see them as associates, you may see them as co-workers, friends, relationships, etc. But it's like their want of understanding human history sometimes falls on flat ears, or falls on deaf ears, I mean. And you know, it's quite ridiculous in my opinion. It's like, I know what I'm doing. We know what we're doing is benefiting humanity and benefiting human history and the future. Because as you all watch, there are countermeasures being released against the knowledge being espoused to free or to liberate the dark-skinned people calling themselves black. So rather than it being a classroom setting where, okay, let's get a chalkboard and do this, right? We need innovators and creators with these various social media platforms, since this is the fastest way to reach people's minds perceptionally through the camera recorder, through the microphone. We can reach people perceptionally through the eyes and ears, through the microphone, relative to time, at light speed. So, with the younger generation wanting to discover knowledge, true knowledge of self, and not be ridiculed by the propaganda perpetuated by the powers that be. Rather than them having to go through this daunting task and this ridiculousness that we have to face because people don't want to own up to their wicked ways. We need innovators. We need free thinkers. We need people that's willing to experiment with things that may be outside of human reach, but are actually in human reach. Without going I'm trying to think here how I should word this. So basically, we need innovators and creators that don't have to set up paywalls in order to get their messages across, in order to give knowledge to the people. We need to espouse this knowledge that's readily available to individuals, and not just chase a check, not just chase some fiat or what you term as money. Now, understand that's important. in some cases. Some people have family, some people have intermediate families that they have to tend to, etc. However, by obtaining self-knowledge, we can get to avenues faster. We can get to destinations quicker from point A to point B. So, yeah, man. So that's all I have for this live stream. I'm gonna call it early this live stream. I was gonna give y'all another 30 minutes, but I'm a little tired. So I have to enjoy some time of my day, which not to say that I don't enjoy this, because I enjoy this. But as far as like, my daily or rat in the race job and chores and all this stuff and working out and exercise and eating, the carnal desires of the human body that I have to tend to. The day is limited because I have to do other things outside of business. So I'm gonna cut this short, and I thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all understand where I'm coming from with that. I'm actually being genuine and humble. But like, we're creating more portals and we gotta get back to work. So I thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you buy our merchandise. Slow-mo'ed Astro Cowboy. The link is in the description at an affordable price. And it's available in different colors. And yeah, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. We are almost to 1,000 subscribers, so get your friends, associates to subscribe, and watch our slow-mo Moorish Portals playlist. Just press play and put it on shuffle and repeat and enjoy. On your drive home, on your workout session, on your browse through the park, etc. Enjoy that and check out our merchandise. Go to our official website. And I thank y'all for tuning in. We're going to get back to these slow-mo Moorish portals. So, all right. I see you guys. Till next time, Wednesday.